Hi everyone, how are we all doing today? My name is Oluwademiladeayo and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by, you're very welcome. And if this is not your first time stopping by, you are still very welcome indeed. So I welcome everybody to my YouTube channel, and it's been such an amazing journey with you guys because I haven't and wouldn't have been able to do this on my own. So it's no news that this is Abattoir season 6 season. So it's like when we go to church to be blessed, and then we come back home to be blessed again. So like for the next maybe 10 plus weeks thereabout, it's double blessings every Sunday. Thanks to God, Mount Zion Filming Studios, the Baba and his crew, and the cast, and everybody and everybody and everybody. So it's been such a wonderful journey so far. We are 4 episodes into Abattoir season 6 out of 15 episodes. So like we still have so much to look forward to, and it has just been a delight talking about these episodes with you all. So today we're going to be reviewing Abattoir season 6 episode 4. I mean, it was a wonderful episode. Episode 4 was quite interesting, and I think one thing I just have to talk about now about episode 4 is the length. Episode 4 was long. I genuinely believe episode 4 is the longest episode so far, a total of 1 hour and 21 minutes. Like, even if you remove previously at the end and all of that, it will still be well over 1 hour, and I'm like, okay. So I really love that about episode 4. So let's get right into the reviews. But before we do, this is a gentle reminder that if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? If you have not liked, what are you waiting for? You like my face. If you have not oh god, just engage the videos. That is what we're talking about. Engage the videos. And if you have not watched the previous review, press that pause button, look for episode 1 and 2's review, and watch it. Then you can now come back and watch episode 4, because this video is not going anywhere. Okay? Oh god. So like, let's get right into episode 4's review. I think I should mention this. Somebody might be wondering, they will like, where is Henrietta? Where is our review? Where's your review body? Oh, you guys. Henrietta is not here today. And then moving forward, we're not going to be seeing her in our reviews, which is just so sad. And I'm like, no. But then it is what it is. We are not more in the same states at the moment. And it's just what it is, because I would have really loved to do this with her, but here we are. We are just going to have to continue. We are just going to have to continue. So keep in mind that this is my first review by myself. So I think that's something to be excited and terrified of at the same time. And then this is my first review with my wireless microphone. Oh my god. I'm so excited that I'm finally holding something real. I'm really excited about that. So let's get right into episode 4's review. So I'll be starting with the opening scene. I think the scene opened with Hyena resurrecting. Yeah, we can't say Hyena died because he did not die, obviously. He, but then it's like he was unconscious and then he resurrected. That is just like a reasonable and very good way to put it, because there are times in the Bible where they would say it is written that God remembered somebody, and they were like, but they said God never forgets. It's just like, for lack of a better word, you just say God remembered. So the same thing it is with like this hyena thing. He didn't exactly die, but then for lack of a better word, he resurrected. And this is an interesting thing to note. This is a very interesting thing to note, that this is exactly what happened with Rambo. It's like the same power. Of course, hyena's power might be like on higher levels, in the sense that hyena probably has more demons. I mean, on one of the days that we were watching, so I think a previous episode, I was telling Henrietta that hyena has legions. Like, when we're talking about like madman of Gadara kind of legions, like those are the legions that we can talk about for hyena. Like, this is not even to spite or anything, like it's just the reality that is possessed by legions of demons. So like in that regard, it might be more dangerous than Rambo, but then it's still like the same power, because that's why Rambo was calling himself immortal, immortal, immortal. It's because they supposedly had the power to escape death, and it's just the irony of Paul Israel's life right now, because he's literally Rambo still eventually died. Like, I think somebody clocked that Rambo still eventually died in that sense. So that's just, so I think this started with Hyena, and then Officer Gabriel waking up from her sleep, then Officer Pius, my brother. Okay, Officer Pius is not my brother, but Officer Pius, he have entered. Oh god, that man has entered. Honestly, I don't know what they were thinking of, or what they were feeling like when they went to go and meet the herbalist, that he should help them to see where Hyena was and everything. But that clearly backfired in their faces, and just blowing up and just getting worse and just getting worse. And you will think that Officer Pius has learned his lesson, but na lie o, Baba never learn. Because tell me why on the next on Abattoir season 6, he's telling his wife that they will poison Hyena that did not die by guns. You are going to poison him with a rat poison. Like, but then, well, let's give him the benefit of doubt that when you are in distress, you just tend to do wild and crazy things. Wild and crazy stuff. So I'll be asking myself some questions and answering the questions, because there's nobody else to answer the questions aside from myself. So let's get right into it. So I'll be starting with the first question. That's acting and performance. In every episode, there's always somebody's acting and performance, and it could be multiple people actually, that their acting and performance really stands out to you. So for me, in this episode, the acting and performance that really stood out to me was the Granite Man's performance. Now that's the scene where Martins was looking for a job or jobs, and then he came across this man, and this man was just eating granuts. And I don't know, I just really loved the character. Even though this is probably the first and the last time we are going to see his character, we don't even know his name. But then his acting and performance, I could just tell that everything that they thought about, like that was envisioned about the character, he brought it to life. I could just tell every single thing that was envisioned about that character, he brought it to life. So like I just really love this character. And something that I really love that I have to mention here is how the previous next on this episode. I mean that, at the end of episode 3 there was like next on Abattoir. That's episode 4. This was the scene that I mentioned that I was looking forward to. Was the scene where Martins, the man, they were having a conversation, and then you would think it was the same thing. You would really think it was the same thing, but it's just really amazing storytelling, because eventually now in episode 4 we can see that it was two different scenes. That's the scene where Martins was playing with the granite and using his hands or his fingers to like push it about, and then the scene of the interview. But then the way they meshed it together in the previous was like just really amazing. So that's the acting and performance. I was like, come on. Then for cinematography and lighting, a part that I just really loved was like the hyena scenes with Officer Pius and his family. Oh my god, I love when lighting really communicates the message. Like it really communicates the message. There was, I think in one of the previous reviews, I was also talking about how there is a way the lighting is with Grandmaster scenes. I think Henrietta mentioned that there's a way they communicated it in these hyena scenes also. Because if you notice all the scenes between Hyena and Officer Pius's family, after I tell them hostage or whatever in their own home, it's just dark. Like you can feel the tension, you can feel the mood, like oh my god, this is a serious matter. And like I just really love that. So for me, for cinematography and lighting, that was like lighting that really stood out to me. Now let's go to the key themes and lessons. As with every episode in Abattoir, it's not just all about the excitement and all. There are many things to learn from every episode. Now I'm going to be starting with this particular one because it hits closest, honestly, and that was where Rambo went to visit Kante, and eventually he brought Collins I can't remember now if it brought Shapiru and Shakab. It was that was name, but I really loved that scene so much. Like God can't change anybody. It just really emphasized that to me again, that God really can't change anybody, and it was just such a beautiful thing to see. Considering the fact that I've had a similar experience with my friend group, and like we had a fight with one of our friends, and it was now a choice of, are we going to act on our feelings, or are we going to love like Jesus did? And it was just beautiful. The verse that came to my mind in that scene was how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Nah, I love that so much. Another key theme and lesson for me was Cecilia's choice to let go of just whatever it is Beru was doing. Now, from episode 3, we could see that, and obviously, she still even mentioned it in episode 4. She told Beru that she liked him, which, like, it's a surprise to everybody or most people. But then she didn't allow her emotions to cloud her judgment. Even when Beru was still seeming to be persistent and all of that stuff, you could see that she was not phased. Of course, it was painful. She cried about it. She was like, "Oh, mommy,
It's
Beru is
not
not
the
the one,"
one.
all of that. But she still obeyed God. And honestly, Cecilia is such an inspiring character to me. And this is not even only because she's played by or acted out by Minister Sumisola, which is just even mind blowing in itself. I think that Emeka and I have had this conversation that God definitely has a hand in everything that has to do with Abattoir, from the writing of the script to the choosing of the cast. Because tell me who in their right state of mind picks a music minister to come and act a role? Like, it's just giving God all the way. So Cecilia is like a character that really, really inspires me. Honestly, she inspires me in many ways. When she still gave Martin's money again, I'm like, come on! Like, you're like, I knew you had so much to teach me. Oh, like, I was really happy about that. I was excited, like, yes, this is financial freedom, very, very important. So I really love that she didn't allow her emotions to get the best of her. She knew that God had something in store for her, and she told her to Gero also that he would find his own babe. And yeah, so like that's she really teaches like very important lessons. Like Gero was still there trying to form Spirit Coco. That was he saying that he asked God that I don't even know what Gero was saying, but it shows us that you actually have to be spiritually sensitive. Like you have to know God for yourself, because imagine she had Bero was one of those God said you are my wife kind of guys, and he just came to Cecilia and he was saying, "Oh, God said you're my wife. God said you're my wife." And then Cecilia didn't even bother to pray or anything. She just believed, Bero, God said he's my wife. I'm his wife, and then just went like that. Would have been so terrible. So like, know God for yourself. Cecilia is literally teaching us that know God for yourself. Like it would really save you from a lot of trouble, because apparently Bero is a baby in the spiritual realm. Yeah, like let it sink in, let that sink in. So that was like, I think for me, those are like the main key things and lessons from episode 4. And if there are more things that you learn from episode 4, you can definitely drop them in the comments. Like, let's hear from you also, because everybody has a perspective to things when they watch them. So I look forward to hearing from you. Now let's talk about the technicalities. And if you are new here, you probably don't know what technicalities are, but then I like to define technicalities as those little details that make you feel the way that you feel when you watch a movie, when you watch a series, from the camera angles to the camera movements. Like those are, you can even classify lighting under technicalities. Those are the, you get those subtle things that you're just like, okay. So for me, technicalities in this episode that I really loved, I have to talk about the sounds. Now the sound in this episode, especially, you see Collins and his group of guys. I'm still coming to you people. If you noticed, whenever Paul Israel or as my Zion culture people likes to call it, PPI. Whenever my Paul Israel was talking, there will be this sound, this solemn sound. Then when they switch to Collins and his group, the sound will die. There will be no sound again. They go back to Paul Israel, the sound will come up again. Ah. They go back to Collins, the sound will die. And I think it was just going back and forth. It was just so cool to see. Like, they didn't have to put funny music for it to be funny. The lack of sound communicated the emotions, communicated that these guys were not serious. Like, do you, like, it's just this whole technicality still, like, it really blows my mind, because I'm like, if they had added funny music, like, there's this kind of funny music that you add, there's a way it sounds that you're just like, okay, that something funny is about to happen, especially when we see like them Ortegs and his group, but we haven't seen them yet. But yeah, there's just this funny music. I think you know the sound I'm talking about. They could have included that and it would have still felt more funny. But the fact that they were able to still communicate the same message just by removing the sound, I'm like, yeah, nah, that's peak. That's peak. So I really, really loved the sound. Like, they knew when to put the sounds, they knew when to remove the sounds. It was just, everything was just like, back to back to back to back. So another thing that really stood out to me about the technicalities was the camera angles in the scenes with Hyena, Officer Pius. Like, the angles just really helped communicate everything. Like, those angles were just really, really good. So for technicalities, those were like the things that really stood out together. I'm like, okay, okay. Oh god, oh god, oh god. So that's about it. What else happened in this episode that I think really stood out to me? Okay, there are quite a few things to list actually. Let's talk about God's humor, because waiter Martins, like, God's humor is just peak, because Martins in his waiting season, then he gets the job of a waiter, and it's just like, oh god, I don't know if that ever happened to you, where something just happens in your life and you're like, god, you are really funny, like, no, you're actually very funny. So like, that was just like a very, very funny thing to see. And you see Gbero and his heartbreak, I be chopping breakfast or getting served breakfast, say he's feeling feverish. Honestly, you see Gbero, I genuinely don't know what to say to you. I genuinely don't, like, you just always leave us speechless. And just when we think you have done the worst, you outdo yourself and tell us that you still have so many things up your sleeve. And it's like, okay, because Memo is so harsh. It's very mean. Like, the way he talks to Martins, like, those are hurtful things to say. Very hurtful things. For somebody that is as learned as he is, considering that he's actually a very good lawyer, we expect more from him. So it's just weird that you are supposed to be intellectual as a lawyer, but then it's like you have a way of combining the two and switching off different parts of your brain at different points. And you're like, Bero. So Mero was just annoying in his own way. Then I think that I would close out with the last scene, or one of the last scenes, which was when Martins went to see Cecilia and he was telling her about Mama Guero's surprise birthday that was coming up, and how they need the means to the end. And oh, how much do you need? Oh, the cartons of chicken. By the time how much do you need, sir? And then she's like, she's gonna say 500,000. Oh my god! The way my sister and I screamed. We were like, come on, we love a financially free woman. Nah, that was just a wonderful scene. And she still said she would say 100,000, and she still gave Mama Gbero the necklace that Gbero gave to her. But I have a feeling that that is still going to be like a problem eventually. I don't know, but I don't have a good feeling about that surprise birthday, Sha. I do not. So I'm really wondering if it's going to cause a problem, because of course Gbero knows the necklace that he bought for Cecilia. They're now saying it to Mama Gbero and all of that. I don't know how that's going to go, but it was just really amazing. Martins was really touched, and it just shows that little acts of kindness really go a long way. Like, if you can help, help. If you can help, help. Like I just loved that so much. The way she was able to give that much money without thinking about it. Like this is the goal. The goal of trying to earn money is to be financially free, not to make money in itself. So like money is just the means to financial freedom. Like, did you get that? So Cecilia is obviously by now everybody knows that Cecilia is easily my favorite character, and I'm not sure that is even going to change moving forward. But let's see how it goes because we've still not seen, I think, a good number of people in season 6. We've not seen what's even his name? I don't know, but we've not seen Otegs, we've not seen Dele, we've not seen Folare, just that gang. We've not even seen Mama Ascension. We've not seen, what else have we not seen? But I don't think we've seen a number of people also. So I still look forward to seeing these guys. I mean, we are 4 episodes in now, and we still have so much to look forward to. We definitely have so much to look forward to in Abattoir season 6. It has been an absolute delight so far. A special thanks to everybody who has made Abattoir possible, because Abattoir has definitely been a huge blessing to my life, and I count it a privilege to even review this. I really do count it a privilege. So thank you so much to everyone who made this possible. Manzaro Film Studios, D Baba and his crew, J Mikey, Otex, Ife James, every single one of you. You guys are wonderful. You guys are wonderful. And yeah, so that's about it on my review of Abattoir season 6, episode 4. The things that I definitely look forward to is seeing Martins and Cecilia and how that relationship is going to come about and just grow and blossom. I look forward to that so much, and I definitely look forward to seeing all those casts that I mentioned earlier. Until we meet again, I remain Oluwademilade Ayo, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, click that subscribe button, click that notification button, because what? It doesn't bite. And you also want to share to your friends. You do not want to enjoy this premium content by yourself. So ensure you share to your friends, your family, and see you here next week. Bye.